When it comes to cops, we usually think of tough guys in the mix, and when women join the force, we might assume they'll bring a touch of kindness and honesty. But hey, not all the time. Corruption doesn't discriminate based on gender. Just like some male cops, there have been cases where female cops have shown they can be corrupt too, abusing their power and authority despite the pledge to serve and protect. Megan Hall. Former police officer Megan Hall from the Laverne Police Department in Tennessee was dismissed in 2023 after an internal investigation revealed her involvement in sexual encounters with 6 male officers. Hall filed a federal lawsuit claiming she was groomed and abused by her superiors, including Police Chief Burl Chip Davis and Sergeant Lewis Powell. Powell countered with a claim that Hall persistently flirted with him and pressured him into engaging in sexual relations. The court filings revealed that Hall initiated conversations about sex and asked Powell to provide demonstrations of sexual acts to improve her skills in pleasing her husband. In her lawsuit, Hall claimed she encountered predatory individuals like Powell, who positioned himself as a source of companionship and advice before coercing her into sexual encounters while on duty. Powell maintained that Hall pursued him and sent explicit messages. He stated that, due to issues in his own marriage, he reluctantly engaged in oral sex with Hall. Powell accused Hall of having a fetish for his race and making explicit comments about his ethnicity. Both Hall and Powell became subjects of investigation due to Hall's deteriorating mental state and strange behavior, leading to their dismissal. Powell accused Hall of defamation for alleging sexual abuse, harassment, and assault. He sought compensation for emotional distress and damage to his reputation. Megan Hall's law enforcement career ended in infamy and ridicule, where she was subjected to public shaming, leading to internet jokes, memes, and sexual remarks. Courtney Brown and Christy Wilson. 2 female police officers in Georgia, officers Courtney Brown and Christy Wilson, were fired after a video surfaced showing them using a virtual coin flip to decide whether to arrest a speeding motorist, Sarah Webb. The body cam footage, initially reported by NBC affiliate WXIA of Atlanta, captured Officer Brown being questioned by Webb, who asked, "Why am I being arrested?" Both officers were caught on body camera footage discussing the situation and ultimately using a coin flip app on Brown's phone to make the decision. The coin flip resulted in an arrest outcome, leading to Webb being handcuffed and taken into custody. However, the charges against Webb, stemming from allegations of speeding, reckless driving, and driving too fast for the conditions, were later dismissed. The 2 female officers were found to have engaged in misconduct, both on and off duty, that significantly impeded the department's efficiency and had a detrimental effect on public respect for both the employees and the department as a whole. Roswell Police Chief Rusty Grant, in the termination letter, emphasized that the officers had also violated 2 of the department's human resources policies by failing to meet the expected level of performance. Webb expressed her thoughts during a phone interview with NBC News, stating, "These are people who are supposed to protect us, and instead are treating our freedom and our lives like games. It's disgusting. It's scary to think police officers do stuff like this." Sheila and Shireen Allen. Sheila and Shireen Allen, a 42-year-old female police officer from Jamaica, pleaded guilty in a federal district court in Fort Lauderdale to charges of importing cocaine into the United States in 2022. The Jamaican citizen admitted to the following details during her guilty plea. On February 3rd, Allen arrived at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport after traveling from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Upon inspection by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, it was discovered that Allen had concealed a package of cocaine inside her vagina and had another package in each of her bra cups. Furthermore, Allen had ingested 90 pellets of packaged cocaine, which were later expelled at a local hospital under the supervision of CBP officers. In total, Allen was found to have over 1,000 grams of cocaine on or inside her body when she entered the United States. Approximately 200 grams were hidden in her vagina, around 143 grams were concealed in her bra, and roughly 690 grams were ingested and recovered from her stomach. At the time of her arrest, Allen was employed as a law enforcement officer by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Eventually, Allen was sentenced to nearly 3 years in an American prison. Rose Valentino. Cincinnati Police Department officer Rose Valentino was terminated after being caught using a racist slur while on duty outside of Western Hills University High School. The incident occurred in April, and Valentino's body camera footage captured her saying, "I f***ing hate them. Oh, I f***ing hate them so much. God, I hate this fucking world, fucking hate it, fucking niggers, I fucking hate them, while expressing frustration about traffic. The internal report indicates that Valentino claimed a student from Western Hills University High School had shown her the middle finger, which provoked her response, although the student is not visible in the footage. Western Hills University High School has a predominantly black and non-white student population. The ACLU of Ohio criticized Valentino's actions, and Interim Police Chief Teresa Thietke emphasized that such behavior would not be tolerated within the police department. Valentino sought treatment after the incident, stating that she had been desensitized to racially offensive language. Valentino has the option to appeal the termination through the Fraternal Order of Police Union. Despite positive performance reviews, including a recommendation for promotion, Valentino's history includes reprimands for turning off her body camera, crashing her police cruiser, and her involvement in a lawsuit regarding the illegal detention of individuals during a house viewing. Inspector Malathy, the inspector of police at the All-Women Police Station, or AWPS, in Lalgudi, Tiruchi District, India, was arrested by the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption, also called DVAC, on charges of demanding and obtaining a bribe. The incident relates to a case filed under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offenses Act, where a minor girl was allegedly sexually harassed by a neighbor. The AWPS inspector, identified as Malathy, is accused of demanding a bribe of 5,000 rupees from the victim's father in exchange for filing the charge sheet in the case. The victim's father approached the DVAC unit in Tiruchi and a trap was set. Inspector Malathy was caught red-handed while accepting the bribe, resulting in her arrest. The DVAC team also conducted a search at the inspector's residence and seized relevant case documents. A case has been registered against the inspector under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Brianna Strauss. TikTok user and police officer Brianna Strauss has faced backlash from netizens after a video surfaced in which she discussed her privileges as an officer. In the video, Strauss mentioned that she can speed without consequences and implied that officers can find reasons to pull drivers over if they stay in front of them for long enough. The Federal Way Police Department, where Strauss is employed, conducted an investigation into the video, examining potential violations of standards and her past disciplinary record. Commander Kurt Schwann stated that there had been no previous complaints against Officer Strauss regarding arrests, citations, or traffic stops. But by posting the said video, Strauss violated the Federal Way Police Department's Code of Conduct in relation to social media and personal conduct. As a result, she received a 10-hour suspension, equivalent to one shift, without pay. The video sparked a heated debate about police entitlement, with Twitter users expressing their disappointment and disgust. Some users referred to the officer's arrogance and questioned her abuse of power now that she holds an authoritative position. Although the video has been deleted from Strauss's profile, it was captured and shared on various platforms, including Reddit and Twitter, where it gained significant attention. Strauss's remarks in the video were met with criticism due to her aggressive tone and perceived sense of invincibility. Many individuals expressed their loss of faith in the police system, citing her behavior as an example of why they lack trust. When it was revealed that Strauss received only a 10-hour suspension for her actions, public outrage skyrocketed. Numerous people called for her to be fired instead, considering the short duration of the suspension. Razvinder Agalyu. West London police officer Razvinder Agalyu was arrested in 2020 for suspected involvement in a drug supply conspiracy. During a raid on her home, Class A drugs, drug-related items, and a significant amount of cash were discovered. Another property linked to Agalyu was found to be cultivating cannabis plants. Agalyu was subsequently dismissed from the Metropolitan Police after her claims of ignorance regarding her husband's drug dealing were rejected. She argued that her husband's earnings as a private chef for footballers paid in cash explained their extravagant lifestyle. However, the misconduct hearing panel found her defense lacking credibility given their lavish living arrangements. Although the Crown Prosecution Service didn't have enough evidence to prosecute Agalyu, her husband Julian was convicted of conspiracy to supply drugs, revealing the source of their illicit wealth. Agalyu, a former beauty queen, and her husband enjoyed a glamorous lifestyle, residing in a rental property costing £5,000 per month despite her police salary. They indulged in extravagant vehicles, including a £70,000 Audi, and adorned themselves with designer clothing from renowned brands like Louis Vuitton. Agalyu describes herself as a model and fitness instructor aspiring to work in film or television. She takes pride in her appearance and sees putting on makeup as a positive way to start her day. Despite avoiding charges, Agalyu was dismissed from her position without notice. Chief Superintendent Owain Richards stressed the breach of public trust and the commitment to upholding high standards within the police force. Agalyu will be added to the barred list maintained by the College of Policing, effectively barring her from future law enforcement employment. Shireen Kashif. Shireen Kashif, 30, a female Metropolitan Police officer, was sentenced to a 20-month suspension and ordered to carry out 150 hours of unpaid work by Southwark Crown Court. Her husband, Kashif Mahmood, 32, had previously been sentenced to 8 years in prison for his role in a corruption plot. The court heard that Mahmood, living a lavish lifestyle with designer watches and frequent trips to Dubai, collaborated with East London gangsters to steal from rival organized crime groups. He would orchestrate fake police stops on vehicles transporting large amounts of drug money. Kashif, surrounded by her family members in court, claimed that she only became aware of her husband's illegal activities a few days before the raid on their house. She admitted to moving the box under his instructions during the raid, but the money has never been recovered. Prosecutor Tom Williams revealed that the concealed funds were believed to be a substantial amount, and the sums of money involved in the criminal transactions were enormous. Kashif expressed her anger upon learning about her husband's illegal activities and acknowledged her foolish actions in helping him hide the money. She was dismissed from the Metropolitan Police without notice following a misconduct hearing. During the sentencing, Judge David Tomlinson acknowledged that Kashif acted spontaneously but rejected the claim that she was unaware of her husband's criminal activities. However, considering her role as the sole carer of their 3-year-old daughter, the court decided to impose a suspended sentence instead of immediate imprisonment. Divya Mittal. Assistant Superintendent Police Divya Mittal was apprehended by the Anti-Corruption Bureau, also known as ACB, of Rajasthan, India, in connection with a 2 million rupee bribery case in 2023. Subsequently, raids and investigations are being conducted at her residence, office, and other relevant locations. In her defense against the bribery allegations, Mittal claims that she was targeting the drug mafia and suggests that the arrest is a form of retaliation. ACB Assistant Superintendent of Police Bajrang Singh stated, "A complaint was filed regarding a demand for 2 crore rupees from a pharmaceutical manufacturer in exchange for removing his name from a case." Originally hailing from Rajgarh in the Churu district, Mittal's family relocated to Dadri in Haryana several years ago. She received her initial education in Chirawa and pursued further studies in Pilani, Junjunu, which is renowned as a premier educational center in the country. Mittal successfully cleared the RAS exam in 2007, although the final result was stayed. The stay was lifted in 2010, and she subsequently joined the Rajasthan Police Service as part of that batch. Her family was overjoyed when Divya achieved her dream of becoming a police officer. Divya has 2 brothers, one of whom is involved in the mining business, while the other runs his own enterprise in Pilani. However, the 2 crore bribery scandal has caused distress within Divya's family. The news of this bribery case has created a stir across the state, attracting significant attention and discussion. Cornsasi Ym. Thai Police Corporal Cornsasi Ym was detained at Ratchaburi Central Prison, facing charges of assault, false imprisonment, and human trafficking. The Ratchaburi Provincial Court denied her bail, citing concerns for the safety of her victim. An investigation into the abuse of Ym's maid revealed potential corruption and connections with a Thai senator. During a press conference, Police Lieutenant General Surachate, known as Big Joke, disclosed that Ym admitted to obtaining her police job through the intervention of a senior authority figure. Authorities are scrutinizing Ym's qualifications and her transfer from Internal Security Operations Command, or ISOC Region 4, to the Special Branch of the Royal Thai Police in Ratchaburi. ISOC reports directly to the Prime Minister's office and handles intelligence gathering and security coordination. Police Major General Udon Wongchuan confirmed that Ym's recruitment at the age of 38 is another suspicious aspect of the case. Assistant National Police Commissioner Surachate Hakparn assured the public of a thorough and transparent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the high-profile arrest. The case has gained significant national and international attention since a TV program exposed the victim's horrifying ordeal. Miss A, the maid, was treated as a slave and subjected to regular beatings by Ym. The TV program revealed that Miss A had worked at a coffee shop owned by Ym, who falsely claimed to be a minor wife of a Thai senator, which has since been closed. Ninabura and Manasi Jaina. Two women officers, Ninabura and Manasi Jaina, were arrested by the Anti-Corruption Vigilance Authorities in Odisha, India, on charges of corruption and possessing properties disproportionate to their known sources of income. Ninabura, the in-charge superintendent of excise in Rayagada, was apprehended with bribe money received from alcohol vendors. Upon inspection, an amount of 629,000 rupees in suspected ill-gotten cash was found in her possession, for which she could not provide a satisfactory explanation. The cash was seized, and searches are being conducted at various locations associated with Bura. On the other hand, Manasi Jaina, an inspector of police in the Vigilance Division of Sambalpur, was caught accepting a bribe through her associate, Mukesh Sahu, to close a petition against a government official. In Jaina's case, the Internal Vigilance Unit of the Cell Division in the Vigilance Directorate conducted an operation and trapped her for demanding and accepting a bribe of 10 lakh rupees through her associate, Mukesh Sahu. The bribe was intended to influence the closure of a petition that Jaina was investigating. A case has been registered against Jaina and Sahu in this regard. These arrests highlight the efforts of Odisha Vigilance in combating corruption and ensuring accountability among government functionaries, including members of their own organization. Director of Odisha Vigilance, YK Jethwa, affirmed the agency's commitment to taking strong actions against corrupt practices, including those involving its own officials. He mentioned that intelligence gathering had been intensified, and search and interception teams were on standby 24/7 in the state to act on verified information. Additionally, an internal vigilance unit had been activated to monitor the activities of vigilance officials. Bonang Christine Maguena. Lieutenant General Bonang Christine Maguena, South Africa's highest-ranking female police officer and Deputy National Police Commissioner, was dismissed from her position in 2020. National Police Commissioner Kayla Sitole made the decision following Maguena's arrest on charges of fraud, corruption, and theft in connection with a tender worth 191 million rand. Maguena, who had dedicated over 3 decades to the police force and climbed the ranks, appeared in court at the Palm Ridge Special Crimes Court and was granted bail of 20,000 rand. She is now the 13th defendant in a trial that involves 9 other senior police officers accused of irregularities in the procurement of emergency warning equipment for the South African Police Service. Police Minister Becky Cele expressed sadness over the arrest of high-ranking police officers, highlighting the need for accountability and allowing the court to determine the truth. He emphasized that the investigation would continue without hindrance. Maguena had been recognized as a trailblazer within the police force, having started as a personal assistant and public relations officer before rising to positions such as Chief of Staff, Head of Employee Relations and Lifecycle Management, and Acting Divisional Commissioner in Personnel Services. She played a significant role in co-founding the SAPS Women's Network, which aimed to support and empower women within the police service. Additionally, Maguena served as chairperson of various SAPS committees, including the Human Resource Committee, Monetary and Non-Monetary Awards, Death Grants, Medical Incapacity Adjudication Committee, South African Police Education Trust Executive Committee, and as deputy chairperson of the Transformation Task Team. She also held the national chairperson position on the COVID-19 Steering Committee. Monirabba. Monirabba, an Assam police officer in India who had previously filed fraud charges against her fiancé, was arrested in 2022 on allegations of corruption related to her ex-partner. Rabba, serving as a sub-inspector in the Nagaon district, was taken into custody after 2 contractors lodged complaints stating that they had entered into financial agreements with Rabba's ex, Rana Pogag, based on her introduction. The contractors claimed to have been deceived in the process. Previously, Rabba had filed a First Information Report, or FIR, against Mr. Pogag, accusing him of defrauding individuals by promising them jobs and contracts at ONGC, or Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Mr. Pogag was subsequently arrested on cheating charges and is currently held in Majuli jail. However, subsequent allegations were made against Rabba, who was previously known as Lady Singham, or Dabang Kop, due to her resemblance to popular Bollywood characters. It was alleged that Mr. Pogag collected money on her behalf. In response, an investigation was launched into the allegations. After 2 days of questioning, Rabba was remanded to 14-day judicial custody by a court in Majuli district and later on transferred to Majuli district jail. Rabba was also involved in a controversy earlier in 2022 when a leaked phone conversation between her and Bipuria MLA Amiya Kumar Bhuyan sparked a public outcry. The conversation revolved around the alleged harassment of constituents in his area by Rabba. Following the leaked audio tape, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma emphasized the importance of showing respect to elected representatives. Andrea Griffiths. Andrea Griffiths, a police officer in North Wales, was compelled to resign from her position after engaging in a sexual relationship with an abuse victim while on duty. The case against her was brought forward for gross misconduct when it was discovered that she had a sexual relationship with a vulnerable man under her care in 2015. The police force had indicated that if she had not resigned, she would have been dismissed and subsequently placed on a list of banned officers. However, Griffiths is now contesting the ban after winning a legal battle to have the disciplinary hearing conducted behind closed doors. During the proceedings, it was revealed that Griffiths had entered into a relationship with the man, known as Mr. X, who was a victim of sexual offenses and considered vulnerable. She was accused of engaging in sexual activity with him both on and off duty, although she maintained that it happened only once. Police Constable Griffiths, who joined the police in 2001 and was tasked with being a liaison officer for the alleged victim, admitted to gross misconduct during the hearing. In her statement at the time, she expressed regret and acknowledged her wrongdoing, resigning from her position to avoid further embarrassment. The Professional Standards Panel deemed PC Griffiths' conduct to be a serious breach of integrity, authority, and courtesy, and described it as discreditable to the police force. As a result, they concluded that dismissal would have been justified, constituting gross misconduct. Zara Bimajid, Constable Zara Bimajid of the Toronto Police Service, was found guilty of 8 counts of misconduct, including making tweets accusing the service of racism and sexual harassment. She also refused to leave another officer's property and failed to participate in an internal investigation in 2023. Firouzeh did not attend the hearing, citing post-traumatic stress disorder. The tribunal, a quasi-judicial forum, investigates serious breaches of the Police Code of Conduct and the Police Services Act. Retired Deputy Chief Robin D. McAlery Downer, who presided over the hearing, stated that due to the nature and severity of the misconduct, Firouzeh demonstrated an inability to reform. Considering the negative impact of her actions on the Toronto Police Service, it was determined that her usefulness as a police officer has ended. This ruling comes 3 years after Firouzeh spoke out on CBC's The Fifth Estate, describing a toxic environment within the Toronto Police and her personal experiences of misconduct from male officers. McAlery Downer mentioned that Firouzeh's slanderous accusations of patriarchy, discrimination, racism, and homophobia affected public confidence in the police chief and the mayor. The decision highlighted the damage caused by insinuations of covering up sexual assaults, protecting wrongdoers, and silencing women. The decision outlined that Firouzeh was warned to stop tweeting about certain individuals, but continued to name a specific female officer who she claimed had received inadequate support after experiencing violent abuse from a male officer. McAlery Downer noted that Firouzeh used women as pawns in her personal vendetta against the force. Firouzeh's attempts to involve the same female officer as a witness in a criminal trial and her refusal to leave the officer's residence constituted serious misconduct. Emma Davies, a police officer in Surrey, United Kingdom, Police Constable Emma Davies, was dismissed from her position and prohibited from working for any police force. The decision came after an accelerated misconduct hearing. During the hearing, Davies faced allegations that on August 21, 2022, she failed to conduct a drug wipe test despite suspecting or having reasonable grounds to suspect that a driver was under the influence of cannabis. Additionally, she was accused of providing a dishonest update to Surrey Police's control room and deliberately misreporting the quantity of seized cannabis. Chaired by then Chief Constable Gavin Stevens, the hearing determined that Davies' actions constituted gross misconduct. Given that her behavior also violated the standards of professional behavior, Chief Constable Stevens decided to dismiss her. Victoria Ambrose. 2 Sussex police officers, Police Constable David Mendez and Police Sergeant Victoria Ambrose, were dismissed without notice for gross misconduct following an investigation into an officer's inappropriate relationship with a woman in 2023. The Independent Office for Police Conduct, or IOPC, conducted a 9-month investigation after receiving a conduct referral from the force. PC Mendez had formed an inappropriate relationship with a woman he met through his duties and failed to report it to the force's vetting department. P.S. Ambrose, a personal friend of the woman, became PC Mendez's supervisor and deliberately provided misleading information about their relationship. Both officers were found to have breached professional standards of behavior and have been placed on the College of Policing's barred list, preventing them from working in the police force again. May Greenwood. A police officer from South Australia was sentenced to at least 18 months in jail for drug trafficking while serving in the force in 2018. Hayley May Greenwood expressed to the court that her actions were a victimless crime and argued that she only sold drugs to fellow users, not children. Judge Julie McIntyre found these statements to be extraordinary and indicative of a distorted perception of her criminal behavior. Greenwood's drug trafficking activities occurred between May and August 2015, while she held the position of senior constable in the South Coast Criminal Investigation Branch. During her sentencing, it was revealed that she had also failed to disclose her knowledge of a drug-using associate connected to a suspect under investigation. Despite being suspended from her duties following her arrest, Greenwood continued to receive pay from the police force until her resignation 4 months later. She pleaded guilty to 3 counts of trafficking controlled drugs and received a 4.5-year jail sentence with a non-parole period of 18 months. Judge McIntyre emphasized that as a police officer, Greenwood was expected to uphold the law, not engage in criminal activities. She stated that Greenwood's actions undermined the public's trust in the integrity of the police force. Acknowledging Greenwood's mental health issues and previous occupation, the judge recognized the potential for rehabilitation but stressed the need for treatment and a commitment to a law-abiding life upon release.